right, everyone, time for the full battery comparison test. I've already been doing it for 22 to 23 seconds between a bunch of different iPhones that I own. Now, all these are at, varying different battery healths and all that good stuff. But I will say for the most part, all these are still supported with iOS 16, and I pretty much just took all the iPhones I could fit on this table and just threw them on here. Some ones that I'm missing, though, are the Pro Max models of all of them. But for the most part, I have some variation of every single iPhone on iOS 16. So I have the iPhone 8 here, iPhone 8 Plus, iPhone 10, iPhone SE 2, iPhone 10R, iPhone 10s, iPhone 12, iPhone 11, iPhone 12 Pro, iPhone 11 Pro, and iPhone 13 up top. I have an iPhone 13 Pro, 13 Pro Max, as well as some other iPhones I could have scattered here, but this gives us a good gauge of what's going on. So what's going to happen is I'm going to let them sit here for about an hour, and I'm going to probably reshuffle these around a little bit so they can fit better on the display. All these phones are at their max brightness. All the apps are cleared out between all of them. So as you guys can see, all the apps will be cleared out, or they're already cleared out between all of them. So they are at, again, varying different battery capacities between them. They are all still very good for the most part. I mean, the lowest one is probably the iPhone 12 Pro at like 87%. So I will check back in about another hour or so with the screens being on and seeing where we're at. Again, these are on the full official version of iOS 16. So we're past all the betas and everything. So we'll check back in an hour and see where we're at. All right, it's been about an hour. As you can see, it's been an hour and 4 minutes, if you can see from this little time up here. And all these iPhones are at varying capacities. So the 8 Plus is at 79%, very weird. iPhone 8 is at 80%, SE2 is at 85%, 10 is at 86%, iPhone 10R is at 81%, iPhone 10s is at 82%, iPhone 12 is at 89%, iPhone 11 is at 85%, I had to double check what this one was, iPhone 11 Pro is at 87%, iPhone 13 is at 91%, and 12 Pro is at 87%. So far the one doing the best is the iPhone 13, which is expected. The iPhone 12 is doing pretty good. The iPhone 11 Pro, iPhone 12 Pro are at the exact same ones. And the iPhone 10 is actually doing pretty good. The iPhone 10 is doing better than the 10s, the 11, the 8, 8 Plus, the iPhone SE2, and the iPhone 10R. How crazy is that? That's actually really insane in my opinion. So we'll check back in about another hour and see where we're at. So it's been about another hour, so we're at 2 hours and 3 minutes in if you're able to see it from this specific one. And we can see the iPhone 8 Plus is at 55%, 8 is at 56%, still higher on here, which is weird. SE2 it's at 65%, so a big gap here between these two generations. iPhone 10 is at 67%, beautiful. 10R is at 59%, 10s 61%, 12 77%, doing pretty well. 11 is at 65%, iPhone 11 Pro is at 71%, 13 79%, and 12 Pro 75%. So we're still doing the best on the 13. The iPhone 12 Pro is doing pretty decent. 12 is doing very well. The 10, again, is outbeating and outlasting the 10s, the 10R, the 11, the 8, 8 Plus, and the SE2. So it's very crazy how well the 10 is doing. I think the 10R is doing the worst. The 12 is doing really good. The worst for how old this phone is. I mean, it should be doing way better. The 8 Plus is doing the worst in general, but we'll check back in another hour, see where we're at. All right, so we are now 3 hours and 5 minutes, and if you can tell from the time, the iPhone 8 Plus is at 28%, iPhone 8 29%, SE2 43%, iPhone 10 47%, iPhone 10R 34%, iPhone 10s 37%, 12 65%, pretty good. 11 is 44%, pretty big difference between those two. iPhone 11 Pro 53%, iPhone 13 67%, and iPhone 12 Pro 63%. So still we're doing very good on the iPhone 12 series, as well as, kind of in coordination with the 47% on the iPhone 10 is pretty decent. The 13 is still number 1, but if you consider the 13 Pro Max, that would still be number, 1, and then probably 13 would be number 3. 12 Pro doing much better than I thought. 11 is doing a little bit worse, but it's a big jump from the 10R to the, 11. The 8 Plus is doing the worst, but compared to the 10, I mean, the 10 is killing the iPhone 8, and iPhone 8 Plus is doing better than the iPhone SE2. The 10 is also doing better than the 10s. It's also doing better than the 34% on the 10R. It's also doing better than the iPhone 11. So the 10 here is doing better than these phones. I mean, that's like a ton of phones, which is so crazy. The 12 is in pretty much second place as of this point, followed by the 12 Pro. So theoretically speaking, goes the iPhone 13, the iPhone 12, goes the iPhone 13, iPhone 12, iPhone 12 Pro, iPhone 11 Pro, then the iPhone 10, and all the other iPhones are below that one. So we'll check back in a little bit more time, but this is honestly pretty crazy in my opinion. So we are at the 4 hour and 39 minute mark, so it's been a while. The iPhone 8 and 8 Plus died a little bit of time ago, I'm not going to lie. I just forgot to write it down. The iPhone SE2 is at 11%, iPhone 10 is at 18%, 10R is at 2%, iPhone XS is at 4%, iPhone 12 45%, 11 is at 12%, iPhone 11 Pro is 28%, iPhone 13 is 48%, and 12 Pro in the back is at 43%. So again, varying capacities on all. 8 and 8 Plus are dead, which I figured they would die by now. The 10 is still, holding it strong. The 10 is still doing better than these two, the iPhone XS SE2, iPhone XR, and iPhone 11, which is very interesting. So far, the 12 and the 13 are doing the best, as well as the 12 Pro. It's weird that the iOS 16 has been making these big of differences between all the certain versions of software, which is pretty wild. So I'll check back in a little bit of time, and I'm sure some more are going to be dead by then. So we are now at the 5 hour and 34 minute mark, and it's been an hour. Both these phones are still dead. The SE2 died, the iPhone XR died, the iPhone 10 is still alive at 3%, the iPhone XS has died, the iPhone 11 is dead, iPhone 12 is at 34%, iPhone 11 Pro is at 13%, iPhone 12 Pro is at 32%, and the iPhone 13 is at 36%. We're seeing pretty big changes here. Definitely with the 10, it's the oldest one here that's still being, it outlasted so many different phones, which is pretty wild. The iPhone 13 is still number one, and it's actually kind of close between the 12 and the 12 Pro. I thought the 12 Pro would kind of beat it, but it is degraded in battery quite a bit. So the 12 is still doing really good, and the 11 Pro is still hanging in there. So 11 Pro definitely has better battery life than the 11, which is very interesting. So we'll check back in about another hour. The 10 is probably going to be dead, and the 11 Pro might be dead too, and then we'll kind of wrap it up there. And then there were 3 different iPhones available. So we're at the 6 hour and 26 minute mark. We're pretty much at the end. And what I can definitely tell you is these iPhones are very surprising. The iPhone 12 is at 22%, iPhone 13 26%, and the 12 Pro at the end is at 20%. So I will definitely tell you, you can see my phone right here. The iPhone 13 is definitely doing the best. 13 series is going to be number one. 14s are going to be even better. But it's very cool to see how the iPhone 10, throughout this whole entire time, was able to, withstand and pretty much beat out phones with better battery health. This one was at 80 something percent. It outlasted the 10R and the iPhone 11, which is actually very insane to me, in my opinion. So I will go ahead and test them thoroughly. The iPhone 14s are coming in this Friday, so I'm sure there's going to be lots of battery tests happening there. But one last time, kind of looking at all these older iPhones, it's very interesting to see how, honestly, some of the older ones like the 10s, especially the ones with OLED displays, have been holding up very well compared to the ones with IPS panels, well, except for the 10s. So that kind of covers it. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that means so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.